I'm Lorilee Keller. I'm a registered clinical counselor and Reiki practitioner. I am continually surprised by my clients' resilience for sure, because there's some really hard things that I've heard about, and people are very resilient for sure. So I'm often surprised about that, and just the growth and the willingness to change and shift and to do some really hard things, because not only are these experiences hard, but they also bring up stuff from our past that's hard to finally let ourselves feel our emotions when it didn't feel safe, or to finally say, like, my needs are worth meeting. I don't have to put everyone else before me. It's safe for me to set boundaries. All of these changes can be really profound, right, in the way that we live our day-to-day life. Often people are seeking counseling, they're seeking support around infertility, but because it's such a big life stressor, it brings up a lot of our old patterns as well, of our old ways of coping. And a big theme that comes up is loss of control and feeling really overwhelmed with loss of control in a situation that's really out of your control. So oftentimes we will do deeper work around that pattern of fear of uncertainty or letting go of control, which is usually more deep rooted. Or even things like not making space for your emotions or your needs as an old pattern, right? And now the stress of this is I'm kind of forced to feel my emotions. I may be forced to set boundaries with people that I never did before, right? So often with my clients, I see big changes that aren't just related to infertility specifically, right? They're changes that are affecting their whole life. And so oftentimes you see that people are shifting old patterns and stepping more into what I call your wise self, your authentic self. A lot of people seek support around birth trauma, or just even processing their birth in general. Birth can be a very overwhelming experience, and there's a lot to integrate after that. And sometimes it doesn't go as planned. And sometimes we experience trauma or fear or overwhelm. And we want to make sure that we work with that trauma so that it's not staying stuck in our nervous system and showing up as postpartum anxiety. And so a lot of my clients will just make sure that we take time to process the birth and to move through any trauma response that wasn't able to move through at the time. Whether that's processing emotions or grounding the nervous system to remind yourself that I'm safe now, that this experience is done. So I think it's really important to create space for that. And even if you don't find that your birth was traumatic, it can still be a lot, it can still be overwhelming. And so having the space to talk about it and process it and then integrate that experience can be really powerful as well.